cancelling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she travelled the world to attend it. My husband and I, 26F, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa but I am French. So our wedding in the savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for the 13 French guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you see lions, elephants, etc. and to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party. We only invited 30 people, the people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt, 38F, 8 years ago and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone and so I only invited my aunt. Not her partner or her kids since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us and that we only want people we love to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her but also for her family. She said it was a family trip but added that she heard some of my guests cancelled and so that there is now space for her family. I told her that it would not be happening but that her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by my mom into inviting them for the wedding itself because they are coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day, after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me, smirking. She was holding her kid, her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type, I didn't know how to react. In my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook hand with her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had and that her family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunt announced that they were leaving. I asked why leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for the dinner and they are only 5 minutes away. She replied that she never intended to stay for dinner but that she will spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party day. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding ourselves and that she has no say in who I host. And I walked away. But she yelled at my back in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was not over and that I better come back. My sister had to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Comment 1. ESH. It's generally rude to invite only one person to a destination wedding and not the rest of their family. I've never known anyone who isn't single to travel to a different continent on their own. You should have invited her whole family from the beginning if you were going to invite her. And once you knew they were all traveling together anyway, you should have let them come to the wedding. Yeah, it was rude of her to show up with them anyway and it was rude of your mom and grandma to tell them it was okay. But this all could have been avoided if you had either invited all of them from the beginning or none of them. Comment 2. I have no idea what happened in this story. So aunt and her family came after the ceremony and left in short time? What's the drama is about? If your aunt was holding the kid, it means her kid is a toddler. You mad because she took her toddler with her to congratulate you on your wedding day and left as soon as possible? YTA, of course. If only for no +1 rule for the wedding in freaking Africa. Comment 3. YTA, you cancelled her invite for the following day as retaliation. You invited your aunt with no family invite when she has a small child? That's fine if it's a local wedding, but a wedding that requires significant travel? You make an exception for your aunt or you don't invite her. Yelling and screaming, that is so classy of your mother. Telling my husband his family can't come to Christmas Eve tomorrow? I, 39F, and my husband, 42M, We're cleaning the house and getting things ready for his family to come over tomorrow to do Christmas with them. A little background on us: we have a blended family, we have 2 teenage kids and a kindergarten age on. We both have demanding jobs and split household chores, although I act as the manager and planner for all the things. Anyway, today I asked him to help me get ready for his family coming over. He will not help if I don't give him tasks. He will go to the attic where his office is, or he will play games on his phone. He says he needs the list because he isn't a mind reader. So I asked him to help our young son clean up his playroom and his room. While he does this, I'm making food that his family likes for the next day. I go upstairs for something and my son wants to show me his room, and the books are all just thrown onto the shelf in a pile. And then I see the playroom and it's a mess with piles of junk all over. I usually clean these rooms, so I tell him that all the toys have a spot to be put away and the rooms aren't clean. It's only been like 10 minutes, so he just half-assed it. My husband gets really mad and he says it looks fine. I'm like, can you please just help clean up the house before they come? We had plans today this evening and I had been working non-stop this week, so I was super stressed to get this done. He says I'm criticizing him, screams at me and says he is done helping with the house. Mind you, I have bought and wrapped all the gifts for his family and him and our kids, and bought and prepared all the food. So I'm like, no way is he gonna just bounce on cleaning now. So I said, and this is where I may be the asshole, I said, if you can't help get the house ready, then your family doesn't need to come over tomorrow. We won't have anyone over. He was livid and stormed outside to call his grandma and cancel, even though I said that if he helped then they can come over. He said he wouldn't live in a house or a marriage where he would be told what to do or who could come over. I just felt completely disrespected that he would bail on me. Anyway, my husband starts packing all his clothes and personal belonging and putting them by the front door and saying he is moving out. He said that his grandma was coming to get him and he was done with me. He kept saying I ruined Christmas. I started sobbing and begged him not to traumatize our kids by doing this 2 days before Christmas. And poor young child is hearing all of this chaos. Plus, I asked, are you just not going to see him on Christmas? He finally relents after I have to grovel and cry to him. He cools off and then cleans half the house without any direction. I calmed down and clean the other half without speaking to him. Comment 1. NTA. His reaction to reminding him that you two were cleaning to welcome his family was nuclear. He was absolutely in the wrong and was intentionally cruel to you. If I had to guess, this isn't the first time he's treated you in this manner. You didn't deserve that. Your kids don't either. Comment 2. After the holidays it is time to schedule marriage counseling. You both are pulling out bigger ultimatums. I understand being frustrated that your hubby is not doing his share. Instead of saying that you are cancelling guests, just let him know that you will let him be host tomorrow and you will be a guest. Then watch him fail. Let the house be messy and the food cold. Drop the rope and let him pick up the slack. Don't be embarrassed when company notices, just tell them the truth. You did all the pre-work, without help, so today you relax. NTA. Comment 3. NTA, lovely, I'm going to tell you this as someone who has been divorced for a few years now. Your husband is gross. His behavior is not okay, you deserve better. Think back. Does he always act like this? I understand Christmas is stressful for a lot of people and sometimes we all snap, but he is acting like a toddler. If this behavior is common, please, for the love of all that is holy, make your own secret bank account and start putting away savings. Honestly, it doesn't get better. I am sick and tired of men using the excuse I'm not a mind reader. Well, no shit, Sherlock, none of us are, but we still get stuff done. I hope you can manage to have lovely Christmas. Telling my sister don't dish it if you can't take it. I, 25F, am home for the holidays, so I'm seeing my sister Ella, 18, and brother Finn, 17, for the first time in months. To put it simply, Ella tortures Finn. Finn can't open his mouth around her without her getting angry. She makes fun of his hair, he wears it long, his clothes, his hobbies, his friends. For example, I mentioned I was thinking of taking on extra work. Finn said that's a good idea because my rent has gone up. Ella responded, since when do you have a finance degree, even if, frankly, he was right. He tripped up the stairs last night, she told to stop pretending to be drunk, he was drinking with his friends downstairs. Ella seems to think it's all a joke, but it upsets Finn. Finn asked if we wanted to watch a movie tonight and suggested one he likes. Ella responded, not everything is about you. Finn wore a t-shirt of a band he likes. Ella complained he doesn't even listen to them. And on it went. Yesterday, we went to a little coffee place. The usual joke arguments happened all the way there. The trouble started when Finn accidentally knocked the table, and Ella exploded, saying there's hot drinks on this table, would you be careful, and then yelling some more when Finn said it was an accident. I tried to defuse it and told Ella to stop. She replied, you need to learn to take a joke. When I told her she was taking it too far, Ella kept on complaining. She gave us the silent treatment, even when Finn asked about her plans, and when she gave a blunt answer, turned to me and said, sorry, did I take that too far again? I told her yes, and she started yelling at us again about how we gang up on her. We don't. Here's the issue. During the commotion, Finn made a remark about Ella's friends. I didn't hear this, but Ella was very upset and Finn admitted he said it. Last year, some really bad shit went down between Ella and her friends that really upset her, so he touched a nerve. Knowingly or unknowingly. And I was sympathetic, as from what I saw happened, it was bad and it messed her up. And Finn apologized. But I was on Finn's side, because Ella had ripped into him non-stop. So Ella was yelling at Finn, and our mum was telling the both of them to make up. I stepped in, remembering all the crap Ella pulled, and said Ella shouldn't dish it if she can't take it. And yes, it was harsh and I shouldn't have said it. But I felt like someone needed to put Ella in her place, because all she did until then was whine about me babying Finn and Finn's inability to take a joke. Ella stormed off crying. My mum told me it wasn't my place to tell her, as I'm only seeing part of what's going on. Apparently they've been at each other since she got back. And maybe that's true, but all I see, even before I moved out, was her antagonizing him and him giving her more grace than she deserved. Now, Ella is not talking to me. My mum is insisting I stay out of it and we all make up for Christmas. Comment 1. NTA, this isn't joking, it's bullying. The mom needs to step up as a parent and get to the bottom of this, because this is going way past normal siblings crap. And everyone needs a damn therapist, because seriously this isn't normal behavior. Comment 2. NTA. From what you said, Ella has made it her current mission to shut down Finn completely. Everything he does is wrong. If he says anything, then he needs to be made to shut up, etc. It's vile bullying, especially in the home. If it's vengeance for something Finn previously did, it's still wrong. Nobody can handle that level of constant "you are awful" don't exist being thrown at them without respite, and Ella's behavior should not be tolerated. Comment 3. I grew up in a family where I was constantly criticized for doing everything wrong until I was practically frozen in fear. My brother was clearly the favorite and was allowed to torment me, and it has taken me literally 4 decades to recover. Please keep standing up for Finn, and let him know how you have his back. I sure wish someone, anyone, had done that for me growing up. NTA. Telling my older sister she can't be mad at me because others didn't praise her daughter's name but did my son's name? My older sister Viv, 33F, and I, 28F, had babies 3 days apart. My niece was born in October and my son was born in November. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks prior to my son's birth because of complications related to my pregnancy. Viv and I are not close. She annoys the ever-loving crap out of me most of the time. My younger sister Darcy, 26F, and I are super close though. But Viv and Darcy are not close. So according to Viv, she announced her daughter's name was Agnes Kathleen and had most people give very generic comments on the name. She said Darcy didn't say anything at all when she went with our parents to see the baby. I didn't get to meet my niece until everyone came to meet my son because I couldn't leave the hospital. When we announced our son's name was Cove, we did get some compliments on the name. Darcy and my dad loved the name and were cooing over it being super nice but different, to quote Darcy. We told our families first when they visited, and once they all knew, my husband announced it on social media. That's where Viv seems to have been really set off, because a few days after I got home from the hospital, Viv called to complain that I got more enthusiasm for my son's name than she did for her daughter's. She asked why I had to give my son a weird name and told me it was dumb. I told her I didn't have the energy to deal with her. My husband also got a text from my sister. He went through all the social media comments and most of them were love the name / sweet name and congrats. It's not like people were tripping over themselves saying we chose the best name ever. He couldn't find her post, so he assumed she deleted it. But he told me he wasn't sure what got her so bent out of shape. In the last month it has been crazy how much of a grudge Viv holds against me. She went on to blame me for Darcy and Dad liking my son's name more and for getting a better response online. She was pretty furious with me actually, and a few days ago I told her she can't be mad at me for other people's reactions. And I pointed out that it's very much what she's doing. She told me I should be more understanding and F me, etc. It's exhausting, and saying that to her only set her off more on me. I just don't have the energy for this, but now I wonder if I shouldn't have said that to her. Comment 1. What an exhaustingly low-stakes dilemma. She's hormonal, you're hormonal, you've made it clear she's nobody's, least of all yours, favorite, she's hypersensitive, your youngest sister / family doesn't seem to be helping. The kids are 3 days apart and 6 weeks old. Are you going to be comparing them forever? And to top it off, both names are mid anyway, nobody won. But that's none of my business. ESH. Comment 2. Gently ESH. This sounds like it is about more than a name. Your sister's frustration sounds like it is about more than a name, and you don't sound like you care that much about finding out what it is. Your sister is also behaving badly. I actually like Agnes Kathleen, but I might be biased as my middle name is Kathleen and I like more old-fashioned names. Your son's name isn't quite as bad as many modern names, but it makes me think you also have a kid named Anchor and will likely sound just as dated in 10 years. I think you all need to learn to talk to each other.